The countries responsible for space junk, according to NASA's Statista report, we are not only polluting our planets and also other areas that we're landing craft on, for example the moon, we're also polluting the space outside of our atmosphere with space junk. Remember how many times we saw astronauts walking outside, taking spacewalks outside the ISS, replacing parts. And you know what they used to do with the old parts? Just throw them and toss them into the Earth's atmosphere, claiming, don't worry, they're just going to burn up in the atmosphere and no problem. So it turns out that Statista's Anne Fleck shows the chart. Most space junk comes from 3 countries. Russia, 7,032 number of spent rocket bodies and other pieces of debris. USA, 5,216. China, 3,854. Then we have France with 520, Japan 117, India 114, ESA 60, UK 1 as of the 4th of February 2022. Last November, Russia blew up one of its old satellites using an anti-satellite weapon, sending thousands of pieces of debris into orbit, risking even hitting the International Space Station. The Secure World Foundation estimates 16 debris-created SAAT weapon tests have been carried out to date, with the most potentially damaging carried out by China in 2007, because the country downed one of their own satellites, creating an estimated 3,000 pieces of debris. But it was the US that created the first ASAT test back in the 1950s, and according to Data Center Dynamics, has since conducted at least 3 ASAT debris creating tests, 2 in the mid-1980s and 1 in 2008. And according to the OECD, active debris removal faces several technological, geopolitical, and economic challenges. Manufacturing and launching debris removal vehicles is expensive. And if it goes wrong, there's a risk of simply creating further debris. And this is what the OECD analyst explains. The retrieval of debris could involve sharing potentially sensitive data about the debris object's design, and that could involve national security, foreign policy, intellectual property, etc. Therefore, countries would realistically be limited to removing their own satellites or those of close military allies. And despite this, a number of space missions are planned over the next few years, including European Space Agency's Clear Space 1 and the Japanese Commercial Removal of Debris Demonstration CRD-2 mission. According to the OECD, possible solutions are being worked on, including space or ground-based lasers to nudge objects out of the way, as well as the possibility to create an artificial atmosphere to divert its orbit. The organization analysts conclude a legal, technological, and economic hurdle aside, these approaches depend on much more accurate capability of space situational awareness and space tracking that exists today. Evidently, the issue of space debris will need to be solved soon, as companies such as Boeing and SpaceX get set to launch some 65,000 spacecraft into low orbit, upping the likelihood of more collisions and even further debris in the future. And this is by Zerahedge, who's responsible for space junk, by NASA's Statista. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.